Hi, I'm Matt Golofczynski from What Digital Camera, and today we're looking at the Sony A350. The A350 is Sony's fourth DSLR, and it features a 14.9 megapixel sensor, which gives a 14.2 megapixel resolution. The model closely resembles the A200 beneath it, but two key differences are the live view and also the flip-out screen, which comes away from the body and can be adjusted around an angle of 170 degrees. The live view is activated by a switch on the top plate which alternates between the viewfinder and the live view, and it's joined by two buttons, one for adjusting sensitivity and one for your drive modes. On the other side you've got the mode dial, which has all the manual exposure options as well as a handful of scene options too. The camera sensitivity runs from a range of 100 to 3200, and it's accompanied by noise reduction for both long exposures and higher sensitivities too. Okay, on the rear we've got the Super Steady Shot button, which Sony claims allows users to use 2.5 to 3.5 stops of slower shutter speed than they would usually be able to. There's also a smart teleconverter button, which is used to zoom into live view images, either by a factor of 1.4 or 2 times. There's auto exposure lock and also exposure compensation buttons as well. You've also got the function button above the menu pad, which allows you to change key settings such as metering and autofocus modes. On the left hand side you've got the power button at the top, the button for selecting menu display, the display button, playback and erase as well. Around the side you've got two sockets, one for attaching a power supply and one for remotes, while at the top here you've got a flash button and lens release too. Around the other side you've got a slot for your compact flash cards and also a USB port for video out and for connecting to your computer. The advantage of compact flash cards is that they're generally more hard wearing and durable than SD or memory stick formats, and they also offer high performance in terms of transfer speeds. Generally the camera handles very well. It's got a plastic body and it isn't sealed like the K20D or the Samsung GX20 against weather at all, but all the buttons fall in a good place. The only exceptions are the buttons on the top plate, which can be a little bit fiddly to reach with either your thumb or your forefinger.
Okay.
The viewfinder is reasonably bright, but it's a little bit smaller compared to its competition. The reason for this is because there's a secondary sensor in the viewfinder chamber which feeds the live view feed to the LCD screen. What this allows is for the autofocus in live view to be pretty much as fast as if you're using the viewfinder, and it makes it one of the best live view systems around. The standard of images from the A350 is generally very high. Exposures are consistent, and even when the camera does get it wrong, there are features like the dynamic range optimizer which are on hand to help out. Noise is also very well controlled, only sort of about ISO 400 beginning to compromise detail, and even at the highest settings it's only a fine cast of chrome noise that can easily be removed from post-production. JPEGs are also very good, not quite as sharp as the RAW files, but the camera does a good job to remove fringing and noise as well. Sharpness is generally very good, but the kit lens that comes with the camera doesn't really do the sensor much justice. Substituting it for a different lens, such as the Carl Zeiss 16 to 80mm, produces much better results. It's not perfect, but the standard of images from the A350 is generally very high, and the live view is definitely the best that we've come across so far on a DSLR. If you take advantage of the live view, you've really got yourself a fantastic camera, and together with the features on board, it really does give you a lot of value for money. Overall, we give it 90%.